T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Own it, own it, own it, Kong. I own it. It did.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
I'm starting?
I can do it. I'm sorry. Okay. So, this is Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. And per usual, every Friday night, this is the Rampage and SmackDown after show, where we give the lowdown on everything that took place on Rampage and SmackDown, and just go for it blow by blow and give our opinions on what's going on. So, as usual, I'm your girl, Stephanie Hardy, host and creator of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast, voice of the Belladonna Division in Gaston, Alabama, and co-host of Women's Wrestling Talk. But I'm not alone, and I'm happy I'm not alone, because if I was, I really feel like this show would have gone a different way. I have my amazing tag team partner, the spice and just all around amazingness of Women's Wrestling Talk, the editor-in-chief, photographer, just all around amazing person, Driune Santana. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, it's Friday. We have a lot to pretty much unpack, especially when it regards to getting down to SmackDown. But I mean, yeah, I think towards the end of the show, it's gonna be it's kind of doing something a little bit different in regards to how we're gonna break down the shows this week.
Yeah, it is going to get a little bit different. But hopefully, everyone in the chat will stick around with us and tell us how they feel about everything that happened tonight and also this afternoon with Rampage, because that did come on at 6 o'clock, the early start time.
We're getting
because
we are getting fed. They I think they listened to our prayers, Stephanie, because next week we are getting another early special, so I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
I really am too, because in a sense sometimes it's just really hard to wait until super late to watch everything. So now it's just like, with them doing the early shows because of other sports, doing their sport things and stuff, like it's just really cool to watch it a little bit earlier and then be done with SmackDown afterward and then come on here and talk about everything that's gone down. So I wish they would keep the early times, but it's okay. We're just going to go through everything. So, Rampage was in Houston, Texas, tonight. And today, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock tonight, today, either depending on where you are. It was today for me. So, It started off with, well, since you missed Rampage, Tam Tam, thank you for joining us. We're gonna go into it. So Rampage started off with the trios match. It started with the House of Black versus Evil Uno, number 10 of the Dark Order, and Fuego del Sol.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I believe I feel like they've been starting with like trios matches for like the past couple of weeks.
They have.
But it's usually a good time, like it's usually like a good format to sort of start with a show and everything. So it
Mm-hmm.
was really, really good. The match was very fast paced. It was lots of super kicks going around, of course, with when you have Malachi Black and Buddy Matthews in there, and then you had a lot of power moves from Brody King and I feel sad for like Fuego del Sol because it feels like they put him in these matches just for him to sort of be thrown around and tossed about and then just bullied. Because there was one point where I believe Buddy Matthews was stepping on his arms and trying to break it and everything, and it was just like, bro, like when are y'all gonna leave Fuego del Sol alone? And
Maybe learn
just
how to fight back.
like
He
he
not
did actually
really,
know
Fuego got a lot of lives. Okay,
he
he not
does.
really got kicked to death multiple times by Malachi. Um, it's awful. He's a crowd favorite. He is. People do love him, but yeah, I think he may need to go somewhere to get some training or something because that man get beat up every week, every chance he get.
Yes, he is. But in this match, I will say he did get a lot of offense in, which is something that we rarely see from him, in these situations. So
Right.
even though his team wound up, not really winning and House of Black wound up winning, he
Mhm.
did get in a lot of offense. And Evil Uno and number 10 actually did a really good job in this match as well. But they didn't come out the victors, and House of Black did. But then
Right.
as they were celebrating, I believe they got interrupted by the Death Triangle, and they all came out, and they were on the stage, and they revealed and they basically unveiled a tomb. Well, I don't want to. It's not a tomb. It's a headstone
Mhm.
that had their names. That had the name of the team on there. It said
Oh.
House of Black, Double or Nothing. So I believe there's going to be a trios match at Double or Nothing between the House of Black, um, and them. So it's just like this is what's happening, but you and the Death Triangle. I'm sorry, I just had a brain blip. It's been a long night. But yeah, so they're gonna fight each other at Double or Nothing, and that was really interesting how they chose to challenge them. With a headstone with their name on it. Like that's pretty bold stuff there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I don't know how I would feel if somebody came out there and challenged me to a match but had a headstone with my name on it and say, "This is where you're gonna lie once I get done with you." And it's like, well, Double or Nothing is fastly approaching. Double or Nothing is next week. Um, so I mean, of course, me and Stephanie will probably give our little predictions in the midst of Rampage, and everything. And they released a lot of matches tonight, that's going to happen at Double or Nothing. So I mean, it's definitely going to be another stacked pay-per-view.
Yeah, it is. It's a really stacked card. And this is one of the matches that's going to take place on there, but they did announce a bunch of them, and it looks
Mhm.
really interesting if you're into it. And then
Yeah.
on top of that, like next Wednesday is going to be their 3-year anniversary, so that's an even bigger show
Mhm.
on top of it too. So it's just like they got a lot going on centered, on AEW celebrating themselves and
Mhm.
Double or Nothing coming up. So it's pretty awesome stuff. But House of Black did win this trios match. We then
Yeah.
had an appearance from Mr. Shawn Spears, who wanted
The
to fight
chairman.
against a giant. Sam, what did you say?
I said the chairman is what he like to call himself.
Yep, the chairman and the giant slayer, which is something that they kept reiterating
I'm
tonight.
screaming.
Um they kept reiterating him being the giant slayer. So
Mhm.
he had a match against a giant, but the thing was, it was like a surprise giant whom we hadn't seen on AEW television before.
Mhm.
And guess who it was?
Oh.
Okay, so you remember Sanity, right, from NXT Black and
Mhm.
Gold?
Yeah.
It was the Beast of Belfast. I forgot what his name was
Mm.
in NXT, and I even forgot his name. That was tonight. Was Big. something.
I
I
thought
was
it
some.
was
I'm told
Damon, wasn't it? What's his
right.
name?
The
Damon? I think his
Big
name was
Dano.
Damon. I don't know. I think it was Damon. Like, yo, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't get a chance, even though Rampage did come on a little bit early. I definitely missed some stuff because I was grocery shopping. So
I understand, but I'm look, guys. I'm going to find this guy's name, like his name on television now, because it's just like I was so excited when I saw him because I hadn't seen him in so long. Like I was really crunk. I was just like, "Bruh, it's him." Hold on, Big Damo,
Big
Big Damo,
Damo.
bruh. I just couldn't believe it, and he was known as Killian Dane in NXT.
Oh, so basically Nikki's Cross.
Yeah, Nikki Cross's husband.
Got it.
Yes, I was just like, "Bruh, excuse me." Thank you guys in the comments. I didn't even look. I'm sorry. I was already, on my phone just trying to Google it. So I was on a mission. But I appreciate you guys in the comments for saying that. Big Damo. And when I saw it was him, I was like, "Bruh, excuse me. This okay. This is where you've been." And it was a lot of, like the moves in the match and everything was a lot of what you would normally see from him. Like it was really cool. Like at first I thought that Shawn Spears wasn't gonna win, but he wound up winning. And I was just like, God dang. I was so upset. And there was a point where even towards the beginning, Shawn was like trying to roll out of the ring to avoid him and everything. But then Damo gave him like a running crossbody, which I loved and everything, but it just wasn't enough. And Shawn Spears wound up winning. And then after he won, he basically talked about how, I'm a defeater of giants and I'm gonna beat you, Wardlow, and all of the song and dance and all of the above. But I was really happy to see Big Damo and watch him, get it on. But he wound up losing to Shawn Spears. So there you go.
I'll be glad when that man loses one day, and I hope he gets beat up by Warlord.
Oh yeah, me too. I might definitely tune in to see, like
I want that
I
man to get
definitely
beat
want
up
to.
with a chair.
Yes.
His own matching chair. He needs to get beat up with it.
Yes, I absolutely agree. So after that, we had women's action. We had Chris Statlander versus Red Velvet in the women's tournament in the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament quarterfinal. These two women used to be friends, and they did show clips of them, before the match got cracking, and talked about, their history and everything. But of course, Red Velvet has now joined the baddies with Kiera Hogan and the TBS champion Jade Cargill. So she's kind of over her and Chris Statlander's friendship. This match was pretty impressive because I saw Chris Statlander use a lot of her power to sort of get the upper hand on Red Velvet. There was a point where she even pressed her, kind of like the same way Bianca Belair did to Sasha in the match, and then she even did it with just one hand too. And I was just like, "Oh, I know she ain't." But
definitely showing out.
Huh?
She's definitely showing out.
Yeah, she was showing out. Like, and it felt like for everything that Red Velvet was trying to do, she was always countering it, with her power. And I was just like, okay, Chris, I see you. I see you. And of course, Red Velvet had the support of her baddies and everything, and they were just kind of just rooting her on to win or whatever. And Red Velvet was just showing a whole lot of more aggression. And Red Velvet even tried to hit her finisher on Chris Statlander, but then it wound up not working, and she kicked out. But then after a bit of a back and forth, Chris Statlander wound up winning the match. And so now she's going forward in the tournament, but she wasn't able to really celebrate that because the baddies all jumped up on her and started beating her up. Just to let her know, like, girl, like you're just not that person. But then in the midst of that, Ruby Soho was also on commentary with Chris Jericho, basically, talking about who she was looking forward to facing out of the both of them. But then when she saw that Chris was getting attacked, she ran to her aid. But then she still wound up getting, jumped on because of course that's 3 women against 2. And after that point, Smart Mark was just kind of just looking out, and watching them fight. But then Anna Jay popped up out of nowhere and then grabbed Smart Mark's like crutch. and proceeded to try to fight them, but then the baddies scattered and left. And I'm just like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, that
So
was like,
so that's pretty much what's going on there. But then it was later announced that Jade would challenge Anna Jay for the TBS title at Double or Nothing. And I think this is kind of strange. This is a strange choice considering she's fought Anna Jay for the title before and beat her.
yeah.
So yeah, this was a little bit weird. But how did you feel about the match, Sam?
I mean, I thought it was a really good match. I mean, seeing the change in Chris Statlander's look really allows you to kind of, those who really weren't paying attention to her wrestling ability, it has allowed you to really just kind of sit there and really want to pay attention to what Chris Statlander is doing and what she's capable of. And I'm very happy she went over Red Velvet. I'm not the biggest Red Velvet fan. Sometimes I feel like she falls up under the women's division a lot. Some people like her, some people don't, but I'm not the biggest Red Velvet fan. I thoroughly do enjoy Chris Statlander. I love her new look. I love that, like I said, people finally get a chance to like pay attention to what she's doing. So it definitely does help a lot. It really does. So I'm excited to see what's next for Miss Chris Statlander. I think her and Ruby actually go against each other. I believe so. In the final tournament. Well, as far as like the going into like the semifinals. Outside of like Britt and Tony Storm that's happening. So I'm excited to see what really transpired and see who makes it to Double or Nothing. I'm thoroughly excited to see, Britt's match with Tony Storm. In regards to Jade and Anna Jay, when me, TK, Mika actually interviewed Anna Jay a month ago, I ended up asking her about like if she had the chance to face Jay Cargill again, what would her strategy be differently this time? And now it's happening. So now, what she told us in regards to what her strategy would be if she faced Jay Cargill again. Maybe she'll implement it into that match at Double or Nothing. Maybe we will see a very much high flying Anna Jay during this time around. But I don't think Jade is losing that title. As of right now, I don't think she is. But I'm ready to see what's different move sets or different things they're going to try out for this second go round.
That sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Since you put it that way.
Yeah, because Anna Jay says she's not a high flyer, and if you watch Anna Jay, you can tell she's not the type of person that's actually going to try to jump off of anything. So I mean, to see her actually try some new move sets, try some new stunts, I honestly think it'll be great. I really think it'll be awesome.
Okay. Well, that's really great. And I'm really glad that you were able to implement that type of information from you guys' interview and time together, into that mindset. So I'm glad that you actually, gave that and said that. So that's cool. And I guess we'll just be looking forward to that as well as the rest of the Owen Hart Women's Tournament. Because, of course, backstage, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, let me say that, and Tony Storm, we're backstage talking to each other, and and Tony basically threatened to turn into Dr. Britt's dentist herself by knocking her teeth out. And I was just like, that's interesting. And then it was just so funny because usually Dr. Britt Baker has so much to say, but she didn't really have much to say in response to that. She just walked off from her, and I was just like, girl, Tony is not here for the play anymore.
Not at all. So, but I do know it's gonna be a good match between them two. Like I'm thoroughly excited to see Britt and Tony Storm actually like wrestle on Dynamite. I think it is this Wednesday when it's going to happen. So hopefully they don't start with that match so I can get home and watch it. But I really do want to sit here and actually watch that match. I do.
Yeah, me too. And then also in more backstage action, I found out anyway, I didn't know this information, but that Anthony Bowens of the Acclaimed was attacked and now he's out with an injury. So he had well wishes given to him by the Gun Club and of course his Acclaimed partner. So after that little bit happened, we heard from the TNT champion, we heard from the TNT champion Scorpio Sky, who demanded the return of the TNT championship, which was taken by Sammy Guevara. And him and, of course, his little crew were out there talking about, all of their demands and why they want the title back and all of the above. And I'm surprised they didn't crack any horrific jokes on Ty Conti this time, but they didn't. So I'm gonna be grateful.
Well, maybe they learned something. Maybe they heard your PSA from when they always trying to say something degrading towards Tay Conti. Maybe they heard it.
Maybe they did. Maybe somebody's listening. Other people aren't, but we're gonna get into that later. Maybe they did, but literally they were out there making their demands only for Sammy to sort of pop up on the screen and while with Ty Conti, standing behind him, and it looked like they were in a parking lot or like some type of industrial complex. And he had a sledgehammer, and he basically brought the sledgehammer out and was banging on the TNT title and tore it up and everything. And of course, that American Top Team was in there looking upset and mad or whatever and watching him do this. But then he said, wait, I have a friend with me. And then out pops Frankie Kazarian. And he was talking about, how he's ready to sort of get back at American Top Team and of course Scorpio Sky, because they were friends and he did turn on him last week after their match. So he's looking for revenge. He tore the belt apart a whole lot more while Sammy and Ty were making out, as happy couples do, I guess. And and basically, after that, that was pretty much it, and that was really all you saw of American Top Team. So with all of those segments, they announced all of the matches for Double or Nothing, and it does look like a stacked card, but we did discuss that a little. So now we're going to shift to our main event, which was Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson versus Dante Martin and Matt Sydal.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So, having technical difficulties. I'm sorry.
I was like, Stephanie, stop touching stuff.
I'm sorry.
This is what it looked like, you guys, in regards to the match card.
Yes. That is exactly what it looked like. Forgive us. Forgive me. Forgive us. So this match was really, really, really good. And then, of course, William Regal was on commentary, and he's someone I just enjoy hearing on commentary, because he's not only going to talk about what's going on in the match and in the mindset of his boys and everything, but he's going to fuss back and forth with Chris Jericho. And that was funny. That was really funny to me, because I'm just like, you know what? Give Chris Jericho the business and let him know who you are, William Regal. But you can tell they still, they respect each other. But, it was, I don't know. I just enjoyed that part. I thought it was funny. But this match was crazy, because it seemed like Bryan and John were just wasn't looking to do anything more than to just punish these two with all the pain that they can inflict on them. And it was just like full of all kinds of aerial moves, technical moves, basically the whole 9 yards of everything that these teams could offer. They did it. It was just really crazy. I want more for Dante Martin so bad. Like, I feel like I just watch him lose a lot, and I'm just like, bro, Dante, I want better for you. Stop losing, because he's just so talented. Yeah, but it just seems like it's never his time to win anything, and it's just like, Dante, come on. But and then I also love Matt Sydal, because I've just always loved him, even when he was like Evan Bourne in WWE a long time ago. Oh God, that was forever ago. I feel like a child. That was like when I was a child, but now I'm old. But either way, this match was still really good. And basically, BCC wound up winning the match as Jon Moxley hit the paradigm shift. And as they were celebrating, the Jericho Appreciation Society attacked them because, of course, Jericho has to pull double duty, be a wrestler and a commentator. He came from behind and attacked them as the show went off the air. And, of course, which is public knowledge at this point, Bryan Danielson had his leg caught in between the ramp and the stage, but that wasn't shown on television.
No, it wasn't. Well, we can obviously see that he was stuck down there. And it was. It seems as if, like, I don't know if they really gave us an update in regards to about his leg or anything like that, but it looked awful.
It
Um,
did.
like it looked awful from the videos that we did see on social media in regards to that match. But I'm like, I hope he's okay. Um, it was awful. It was just watching the video of them trying to get his leg out between that. It was me. It was it was like Jesus Christ. Like, it was awful. It
It
was
was.
terrible to watch on that video. It was I was like, I don't want that to be me. That's a lot of skin. That's a lot
It
of
is.
skin.
It was. And we're hoping the best for Brian Danielson at this point in his
hmm
recovery
We are.
after that, because accidents happen, but we heal and we learn from our mistakes and we move on. But that was basically how Rampage ended.
hmm
Um Joseph, thank you for your comment. It says it was one of those freak accidents with the ramp so close to the ring it was about to happen. I wonder if Brian was trying to stay in character and act as if Jericho Appreciation Society took his leg out before the hardcore match. Hmm,
hmm
I don't know. But I appreciate that's a very valid thought
Yeah,
though. I appreciate that.
it is. Yeah, Rampage comes on 4:30 for those on Central Time next week.
Yes.
So we're still getting what we get. Um,
Right after I get
yeah,
off of work.
right when I'm getting off work. Like, I gotta
Right.
go to the laptop after that because I work from home. Um, but yes, I mean that was Rampage, you guys. And
Yes.
now we move on over to SmackDown. Shout out to Stephanie for taking the lead on Rampage within my absence and all that stuff. And I mean, I just say let's just go ahead and dive right in. So of course, here we are. SmackDown. Of course, this is the opening. The Bloodline opens up the show, and they talk about how the Usos are going to take those titles off of RK Bro. They're going to become the reigning, defending, undisputed tag team champions of the world. And it also seemed as if, like, Roman was like, if you guys didn't win, basically, there is no bloodline. Like, you're out of it. There's no more. I'm gonna beat your ass. That's basically what he said. Within this smirk, it was just like, it's kind of seemed as if, like, what does this smirk mean? Like, what are we getting at with this smirk, Roman? Like, what were you trying to say? Like, this it looked very devious here, as if maybe he was gonna cost them the match or something. You know, it seemed that way.
Yeah, it seemed like he had tricks up his sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like he always does with them. And I feel like he was giving them the demands to win. And he was saying that because he loves them.
Mm-hmm.
This is why he's challenging them to go forth and do this and everything. But it felt the way I interpreted it at that moment, I felt like maybe he had a plan in place to either mess them up or
Mm-hmm.
help them win, like he didn't believe in them for real. And it's like you're putting on this front in front of everybody talking about how you believe in them,
Mm-hmm.
and how much you love them and everything, but deep down
Right.
inside you know what you about to do,
Mm-hmm.
and it's giving you really don't believe in them, as if they weren't in the WWE before you, sir. But we're not going to discuss
Exactly.
that. Let me hold back all my fire. But yeah.
I don't know, because Joseph asks a question: does Roman truly love them, or does he love the power that he has had for about 630 days as the man?
He loves the power.
He definitely loves the power. He don't go about the Usos. He don't care about them. He cares about the power, the attention, the being what he is. You guys tribal chief, the ones that you guys tend to acknowledge. I don't give about this man. I don't care about that man. Okay, I'm not gonna get no Roman slander because I'm gonna save all of my energy for later on. He's like, I don't have no energy for him. I'm getting the same thing all over again. Yeah, head of the table, maybe a short table. You know, Usos on the legs, obviously, because they're on all fours. So, but Joseph said that the whole stick of Roman is getting old. It's the same thing. Hashtag Roman 2 belts doesn't help. Bobby said he cares about the power. Tamara said it's the power. I'm not gonna give no Roman slander tonight. I promise you, I will not. Okay, I have no words as of right now. Maybe later when we get towards the end of the show, maybe so, but who knows? But yeah, I mean that's how you kind of started out with the show. You got the Bloodline out there waiting before the main event tonight that took place with the tag team champions. Both being on the line. Who would win? Nobody knew until we got to the end of the shirt. End of the show. As we move on and we go into, because we're really not going to go too deep into everything that took place. We kind of just got to let you know what happened and really just save all of our really thorough conversations towards the end. So as the Bloodline was leaving out, Shinsuke Nakamura, well, technically, let me go back. Technically, we have another member of the Bloodline who is technically not holding a title right now, which happened to be Sami Zayn. It seems as if like he is a big Tribal Chief fan, a big fan of the Bloodline, probably the biggest fan that I think I know. And I feel as if like, you know, Sammy, he's trying to find his way into being a part of this bloodline. I've never seen a ginger Samoan before. I feel like Sammy has a lot of, you know, he's very charismatic. But why would you want to be a part of the bloodline? Like, why would you want to look up to Roman Reigns as if you're not better than this man?
Because all he want to do is ride the coattails of the man who he thinks he has the power.
Well, that is true, but does Sami Zayn really need to ride the coattails of someone who thinks he's in control of the situation? Maybe this is all a conspiracy, like Sami Zayn always say. You know, maybe he, you know, at this time he thinks Roman is the man when nationality he's not. And here we are. JD said Roman is a misunderstood man who just wants the best for her family. Sometimes you need to show them some tough love. We'll get into LA Knights. Joseph said he is the table ass. Wow.
That's what Shinsuke said about him last week.
He definitely did. Which hints into them having that match tonight with Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura. And Shinsuke came out. The Bloodline was fastly approaching leaving the ring. And Shinsuke was a little bit of meddling with Roman and the Usos and Paul Heyman. So maybe we may run back down the story again, with which we probably should have gotten, which is Shinsuke and Roman Reigns. But we might move that down. But like I said, we had Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn in a singles match. Of course, Sami Zayn comes out in his all Bloodline gear that you can find on WWDshop.com, because obviously he's a spokesperson, a brand ambassador of the Bloodline clothing section. And I mean, it was really good. It was a really good match. I mean, I can't doubt the fact that Shinsuke and Sami does not put on a great match. But Shinsuke ended up coming out with the win despite Sami Zayn almost losing to a 10 count and then getting hit with the Kinshasa. And going for the pin, Shinsuke did, and Sami Zayn lost. So it's like, you want to be a part of this bloodline, Sami, but you keep losing. You know? You constantly keep losing your matches, but you come out here just like the bloodline and want to be so apart, but you keep losing. What's the issue?
Right, and then you keep trying to weasel your way into victories too. It's like you stay trying to beat somebody up and then, you know, attack them and then throw them out and then get like the count out victory. Baby, stop it. Just stop it. You're weak in the knees. Stand up and fight.
I am screaming. So we're kind of out of order, but I'm just gonna go how I have it on here. So we're just gonna talk about what I have here. Don't forget the match card, forget the segment way it went. We're just gonna talk about what's here. So of course,
Xavier.
Yeah, Xavier is here. And then this guy named Butch, who just so happened to look like Pete Dunne.
Look at those dimples.
Yeah, they there. So Xavier and Butch, the guy who looks like Pete Dunne, had a singles match tonight, 1-on-1, with nobody out there. Nobody was out there in this match to be a distraction or anything of that nature. And I mean, it was fairly good. I mean, it's a way to, because it seemed like as if Kofi is actually out as of right now. So Xavier is on his own for right now. You know, he is. And Butch still has, Sheamus, and he still has Ridge, although he slapped the hell out of Sheamus. Uh, wow. He really slapped that man for real. Like he get him in like you back like your grandma, you back talking that backhand you. That's exactly what he gave him, straight to the face. Butch got plenty of time on his hands. Newspaper subscriptions are at an all-time low. All right, I'll let you slam the Butch, but I don't know that man. I'll let you slam the Butch, but that's about it. But I mean, it was still a good match. Like I said, Xavier, and I don't know how long this feud between them is still going to keep going. It seems like honestly, it's still going to keep going and keep going and keep going until maybe Big E comes back. I know he said like every other week that they need to find a third person to be a part of this feud, because obviously it just seems like their numbers are up, and now their numbers are really up with Kofi not being there tonight. Although Xavier handled himself pretty well, but Butch wasn't too fond of that, because after the match happened, he laid Xavier out by the ramp. He did. He really did. Joseph said it seems like it will keep going till Big E returns. But we don't necessarily know when Big E is going to return. But yeah, we just have to keep on the lookout for that, honestly.
There is something I do want to say about Xavier. Xavier always impresses me in the ring, outside of him being cute. He just impresses me in the ring, and he really showed, how good he is. But something interesting that I did find last week on Twitter, he posted on his Twitter at Austin Creed wins or whatever. There was a video of Roman Reigns talking about how he smashed everyone and how he's, beaten everyone, right? But then he also within that clip showed other clips of him fighting, the Bloodline or fighting Roman Reigns, but then somehow or another the match would always wind up getting messed up, or there would be a DQ involved and something like that.
Right.
So I don't know if Xavier is doing his manifestation thing again, where he sort of wants to lay a little bit of a challenge, or would, as he would say, a challenge for, Roman Reigns for the, double titles or what. But I'm actually here for it if that's what's going to happen, because he's literally the only New Day member who has never won a world title. So if that's the case, then that would be really cool. But, if not, then I guess that's fine. But, but at the same time, if that's the seed that he wants to start planting, then I support that.
But I think he's been planting multiple seeds in regards to, the Intercontinental title, maybe manifesting a match between him and Ricochet for the IC title. Who really knows? Right now, it just seems as if, we don't necessarily know if he's having a singles run or how long Kofi will be out and whatnot. But as of right now, he got his hands full with Fight Night. He does. He really does. As we move on to what Pat McAfee likes to call him, sad ass Corbin, bum ass Corbin, frowny face ass Corbin. Happy Corbin, he was on that man's head for real. Happy talk with Happy Corbin. Of course, he came out, discussed his actions and what he did to Madcap Mox, which we really don't know exactly how long Madcap is going to be out. But it seems as if he is injured due to the hands of Happy Corbin. Mad ass Corbin. The list can go on and on and on and on. But I mean, what else can you really expect from Happy Corbin? What is there else? He's only going to talk about what he did to Madcap. He's going to talk about how he created that man, how he made him, how this Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy belongs to me, and then he broke it. So All right. What else? We're going to wait till Madcap comes back, even though they already kind of talked about maybe changing up his gimmick a little bit. So maybe he'll come back with a different, side of Madcap Mox. Maybe he won't be that goofy anymore like that. Maybe they'll change his the way that his appearance in regards to like his gear. No more suspenders and little like uniform shorts. Like we won't be getting it anymore. Maybe so. We really don't know yet, but that's kind of just been like what the rumors have been in regards to Madcap and what is kind of to be expected in regards to what he could look like or what his character could be when he comes back. But we really don't know. We don't. But what we do know is that Drew Gulak seems to keep getting beat up every week for the multiple times in a row. He has a match tonight with Gunther after being fiercely chopped and attacked last week because he was really talking a lot of mess, and then Gunther came around a corner and chopped him up against the door, and it's just like now they're in a match together again this week, and it's just like it's awful. Drew Gulak is out here really being a chopping board for Gunther, He really is. And although he lost, and of course, Gunther was not going to let up on him, we had Ricochet come out and kind of protect Drew Gulak. It's kind of interesting to see Ricochet wanted to be bold enough to come out there and kind of have Gunther stepping away out of the ring as he was coming down. So it's like, what do you think, Stephanie? Are we going to get like a Gunther versus Ricochet kind of feud starting?
Maybe so. I almost wonder if this could be a possible even there could be room for a possible triple threat between these three.
Mm-hmm.
But I almost feel like it shouldn't be because they're just so different. They're all really different in their own ways. Because it's like Drew Gulak is more of a technical savant. You have Gunther, who's more of a power, but he can get technical. And then you have Ricochet, who can get a little technical, but his strength is really like flying.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe Drew Gulak will maybe try and fight Gunther again.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. But then Gunther might have beef with Ricochet. I don't know, but I feel like that would be different. It would be interesting. It would be something we haven't seen before. But I do feel sorry for Drew Gulak because he just gets messed up all the time. He gets bullied by men, women, everybody.
Dogs.
Everybody is beating him up.
Everybody hates Drew Gulak.
Everybody hates Drew.
That's what it is. Everybody hates that man. He gets beat up every week. He's a walking punching bag. He really is. He really is. As we move on, I know that RK Bro ended up having a backstage interview with Kayla. And basically they just told the Usos, like, look, I mean, RK Bro, saying it, RK Bro 420 is about to smoke your ass. And that's exactly what it is. But did they do it? We're definitely going to get into that. After we go over to Max Dupree, making his TV debut with, it's just Adam Pearce looked very frightened. I will have to say in this photo. I mean, it looks very awkward. This looks like a beginning scene of a porno. Where he is very close, like the office thing going on. It's like he's trying to persuade him. Look at the smile and look how terrified that Adam Pearce looks on his face. It looks very it looks very uncomfortable. Like this is where it's like you're probably wondering how I ended up here type thing, and then proceed to say exactly what happened because this looked very, very, very uncomfortable.
Oh my god,
it did. But of course, we got to meet Max Dupree, who is basically a modeling. He basically runs a modeling agency. Looking for the best models in the WWE roster, men, women, doesn't really matter. And he's just letting Adam Pearce know that, hey, my agency is signed to WWE SmackDown, and so here I am, and a courtesy of Sonya Deville, of course, who is, we already know, lost her job.
And should have got jumped.
Should have got jumped. She should have been got jumped for real. She should have. If you swipe the WWE logo out with the hot tub, the hub logo, you will believe it. You definitely could. Hub.
Oh
Hey,
my
you don't know
god.
nothing about no hub. That's where it's at. Joseph said, of course, Adam is. This is Sonya Deville signing. He thought he won the pissing contest with Sonya. Yeah, he did. But guess what? Here we are. And then he said, what's so scary about a fashion consultant getting in the wrestling business? I mean, hey, there are a lot of utensils that fashion consultants use to get people to look the way they look, appearance wise. So I would be terrified too, by this man coming up to me like this. Like he's like trying to sell me something and I didn't ask for it. Tomorrow said crazy how they keep changing everyone's names. Yeah, he's been through a lot of names. For example, LA Knight has been through a lot of names, and Bobby, of course, is not a fan of his new name. By no means necessary. He is not a fan of that man's new name. But it is crazy how they do that.
Well, let me just say this though. All the hub talk
I mean,
is really funny to
look.
me. And I feel like this conversation would be amazingly suited for the Creep Squad.
Look at this. I mean, what would you do in this position? I personally,
I would back up.
But here's the thing though. If Max Dupree was like Carmelo Hayes and I was Adam Pearce, I would not be terrified.
Oh Jesus.
I would be very excited. I would not know what to do with myself.
Me neither.
I would be like, you know what? Change the WWE logo to Brazzers.
See?
And Nikki says that he should just go back to Impact. This is just that. Wow. I mean, hey, he should. You would think about it. I don't know. But I mean, we don't really know how this is going to play out within his character. Honestly, if we think about it, we really don't even know exactly what he's going to be doing. Like, there's not really much of a backstory in regards to what this fashion consultant thing is going to be about. Maybe he's going to be working with some superstars we haven't seen in a very long time. I know on like Main Event, he was working with like Mace or something like that of that nature. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe he can find a way to style up these wrestlers and make them look like something.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I know. Where's
but
Robert
I know how you feel, though.
Huh?
I would feel that way about Trick Williams.
I mean, well, hey, listen.
He fine too.
Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do, child. Throw the X and X on there.
Men are beautiful.
They are. Black men. Child, don't get me started. Where's Robert Stone?
Yes.
He is down there at NXT with Von Wagner. You know what I'm saying, doing that stuff there. If Renee Dupree returns, it would be interesting if Renee Dupree was to make his return and be with Max Dupree. I mean, are they like cousins or something? Who knows? Don't objectify shit. Sir, please objectify whoever you want. Quick question: which WWE member needs a makeover most? Let's see. Who needs a makeover the most? I would have to say Liv Morgan. I don't like what she wears. I hate her hair. I don't like her makeup. I think she needs a full-blown makeover. Honestly, she does. It's awful. I never seen so many plaids put together in my entire life until I saw that on Monday Night Raw. It was awful. But she definitely needs a makeover.
Now, I didn't see her on Monday Night Raw, but what I will say is this, though. If she did I won't say that her look is really like the worst thing I've ever seen, but she could stand to have a little bit more of an update, because I feel like it's sort of been like this for like a minute. Like it was a little bit like this with the whole black leather mixture of different things since before the pandemic. Yeah. So if she, could get a makeover, then that probably would work out for her a little bit. It would freshen her up.
Her hair definitely needs to be blended. I don't know what it is about these long clip ins and you got short hair. It's just the blendability is awful. I feel like they need to do better. They really do.
They do
Um,
better in a lot of things.
they should. But I'm pretty sure we definitely gonna get into that. We get into in regards to a women's match for the night. We got to see Shotzi and Raquel Rodriguez go at it.
Oh
But before then, but before then, they played the replay of last week. Ronda Rousey coming out after she's won the title from Charlotte, and talk about in regards to just having the open challenge. Raquel answered it, and Raquel, she did a pretty decent job. Her and Ronda did, and unfortunately, Ronda ended up picking up the win. But it seems as if like Shotzi was not too fond of that and was pretty upset at the fact that she felt that Raquel was standing in her way to actually have a title opportunity against Ronda Rousey. And so they crossed a few words. Aaliyah was standing there looking like a doorknob, just standing there, although like she's cool, but she's just like a little doorknob just standing there, But we got to see Raquel and Shotzi in the ring, and I mean it wasn't a bad match. It was actually pretty good.
It was.
Their match was pretty good. It's nice to kind of see Shotzi back on TV. I don't know how long she's going to be on TV, but it's really nice to see her on TV. I guess when you kind of lose some of your top stars of SmackDown, you got to start utilizing women that you really don't see that often. And so it's kind of nice to see Shotzi back on TV. I don't know. Goth Vegan said Raquel needs a makeover or just a better stylist. I agree. Yes, of course. Raquel representing us tall girls. That doesn't include me because I am not tall at all.
Yeah, I'm not tall either, but people in my life, I come from a family of tall women, so I get it.
I am a walking midget.
Oh, don't say that.
I am. I'm very short. This chair makes me look tall.
How short are you?
I'm like 5'3".
Oh, that's not that bad. I'm 5'6".
You can pat me on my head, Stephanie. Literally.
I mean, but I wouldn't do that to you. That's
I know,
gross.
but I'm just saying you could. That's
but
how.
I won't.
Shut up, Nikki. You're supposed to be on my side. When is Shotzi gonna get a win?
That's a great question.
No, I really have no idea. I mean, it just doesn't seem like they really have much plan for Shotzi. Let's be honest, they really don't have that much plan for Shotzi. And Shotzi has a very unique character. She did before they took the damn tank from her. She had a unique character. She's a great wrestler. Don't get me wrong, she really is. I feel like that if they just let Shotzi be herself, we really wouldn't have any issues.
We wouldn't.
Really, no.
And it's like they did it for her to turn heel when she was feuding with Charlotte-ish, and then into Sasha Banks. But it's just like after that, they really didn't do anything else with her, and it disappoints me because number one, I love her. She's my favorite wrecking ball, and number two, she's my girl, one of my girl crushes. I want more for Shotzi. I want to see her beautiful face more.
I agree. I definitely agree. Nikki said Shotzi to Impact Wrestling.
I want everybody at Impact.
And I agree. Let's send all the girls to Impact Wrestling. At least we do know for a fact they're going to be seen on TV. People are going to know their name and so on and so forth.
Yeah, they're going to do them right.
They are. Joseph said they wanted to be like, is Raquel for real? This chick in her singles debut got a shot at the WWE Women's Championship. It should have been mine. Raquel looks great as always. She does look great. She really does. She's doing. I mean, it's just a start for Raquel. You know what I'm saying? She's another tall girl, another powerhouse that they have on the show. That can really do something. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of seeing how she grows and elevates within this division and everything. No, Nikki, you are not on my side. I feel very hurt right now. I'm very hurt. But I feel a little better than this.
There is something interesting I did notice during their match, though. It's like when Raquel was hitting her finisher, the Chingona bomb.
Mm-hmm.
They kept editing it out for some reason on commentary, and I feel weird about that, because when you look up the definition of what it is, it's
Mm-hmm.
not anything like that's that bad to where you would have to edit it out. So for the life of me, I don't know why they kept editing it out.
I don't know either. Maybe that man was saying it wrong. I don't know, but they definitely kept in and out a lot. In regards to why they kept doing that, I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
It just seems as if like they just kind of like just. I mean, I just felt like it was kind of crazy that they kept bleeping it out when the fact that they said it before, so I don't know why they
Right.
bleep it. Maybe they're trying to change it. You know what I'm saying?
Or
Maybe
maybe
it is.
Or maybe it's a situation where the way that they were saying it or possibly
Mhm.
mispronouncing it was actually translating to something else that's way more offensive and they didn't know.
Mhm.
Sometimes that happens.
It does. It definitely does. Sam asked where Xia Li was. Well, Sam, if you was watching, Xia Li was watching the match along with Shayna, Naya, Los Starios, and somebody else was there.
I know
Oh
Aaliyah
yeah,
was back there. Yeah.
she's forgettable. But
The shade of it all.
child, that's a lot of light up in here. Check out my Aaliyah article that I did right for Asian Pacific Island Heritage Month. Available right
Yeah.
now on womenswrestlingtalk.com. Uh, but yeah, everybody was sitting there just watching the TV screen, watching this match like they were so intrigued. Like, you don't even care. Y'all don't care about this match. Why are y'all sitting here watching like a bunch of what? Are you crazy?
Raquel is that girl, and she's,
I know, but it's just like everybody was just sitting there just watching on TV, like casually, like as if they had nothing else to do. And they just basically told them, like, all right, y'all. So for this segment right here, or Raquel and Shotzi out there doing their thing, we're gonna need y'all to stand right here and act like y'all interested in this match. So, and it is what it is. I don't know. I don't know. Tamara said she feels like WWE only puts though the fuse for women with a belt is involved. Yeah, they do push through their fuse and stuff like that. They do. It's like they don't want women to have like feuds that doesn't involve having a title. It seems as if like they feel like the feud isn't going to be great unless a title is involved. Why not change the title to like a stipulation or something? You know, to have a feud. Why can't women have like a 2 out of 3 match?
Yes.
3 stages. Something that we sitting here and we get Cody and Seth for like the 3rd time for Hell in a Cell. Why we can't get some of the women matches like back to back? Of course, yeah, you got Charlotte and Ronda, but what about everybody else? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, there's a title involved with them. With Cody and Seth, there's no title involved in that situation. So it's like, why can't we have those type of matches for the women on the show? It would be. Nikki said, look at the Cardona's Brit, Deanna, Tony Storm. Also, while we're here, Matt over Roman, don't at me. I was screaming. I can't. It's hilarious. Nikki also said they build fuse and then boom, someone gets a title opportunity. That is true. But I just feel like let the women have best 2 out of 3 matches. Are like a bunch of different stipulations. That doesn't really have to. You have the women make it happen. You have the option to do so. But like I said, Raquel ended up coming up with the win within this match, and yeah, it is what it is. Matt Cardona, by the way, LOL, let me clarify. Trust me, we know you're talking about Matt Cardona.
I was a little bit lost. I was like, what is she? What's going on?
not Matt Hardy, Matt Cardona, the Cardona.
No, not that. I just didn't know who or what she was referring to. I was lost.
It's just the fact of like, because Matt Cardona is holding all these titles too, but he's also defending and wrestling while Roman is kind of like,
yeah, he's going
yeah,
crazy.
I do what I want to do. Yeah, he really is. He's all over.
Right.
He really is. But
woo woo woo.
Well, that's Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder. It's okay.
That was the first time I saw him.
He was all right.
It's no disrespect.
Child, Nikki's finna have a field day. she have a field day. She is. Okay, so as we move on to our main event of the night, we're gonna leave what was said prior to this for the end of the show. So move on to our main event, what people have been anticipating all week. Finally getting this unification match for the Raw Tag Team Champions and the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Honestly, this match was fairly good. Although at the beginning part, it seemed like something was a little bit wrong with Riddle. He was kind of a little woozy, a little wobbly. Thought maybe he wasn't going to be able to finish this match, but it seems like the doctors that was out there was able to kind of like, see that he was okay so that he can go ahead and actually finish this match. And like I said, it was fairly good until the ending came. And it was just like something was very off about this. To me, it felt really off. Not saying that like any slander towards these guys or anything like that, but it just seemed like as I was watching the match, it felt very off. You know what I'm saying? It felt like literally at one point, the Usos could have probably lost this match tonight. They really could have. But unfortunately, Roman, I guess he decided that tonight would be the night that he would try to, I don't know, return the many favors that the Usos has kind of helped him get his titles in some kind of way. The Usos are now, the Bloodline literally holds all of the gold right now. And it sucks because now it's just adding more fuel to just like, all right, now we're really about to, now for those who don't care about this, it's just like, this is a very, very awful ending. It's terrible. I did not like the ending at all whatsoever. I did not. I felt like this should have probably happened on like a pay-per-view or something instead of it being on like regular TV. This just feels so off. Like it's just something about this just does not feel right. I do not think those Usos are going to hold both of those tag team titles for a very, very long time. It just feels like something was very off about this match. Besides the crying kids, little man here looked very distraught. Like he did not know what was inspired by Naomi necessary. The mom decided they want to cover a child's ears. Why? I don't really know. I don't even know how close.
Oh my God.
And then you got, this poor baby right here, Lord.
He was that bad?
He didn't know what to do, y'all. He was going through it. His daddy had to comfort him and everything of that nature. The white people were mad, okay?
Not the babies.
The white folks were mad. They were upset. They were not
babies.
They were not feeling it. The kids were not feeling it at all. The kids were not feeling it.
The babies.
The kids were mad. It's awful.
Not
it's
the
so
babies.
sad. And it's the fact of that I can't do anything. It's like I can't even be upset because it's so funny at the fact that it's awful. And then even after the fact, the whole Bloodline attacked RK Bro. They put Riddle through the table, and Roman pretty much choked out Randy, and it just seemed like it was very chaotic. So now it's just like, well, what is the next steps for? What is next for the Bloodline? Who can really take these titles off of them? Now they're holding everything. You know what I'm saying? They really are. They're holding everything.
They really are, and it weirds me out because I wonder, are they just going to be on both shows now from now on?
Roman barely comes to Raw. Let's be honest.
I mean, just the Usos. I mean, I don't necessarily mean Roman. I mean, like the Usos as a tag team themselves.
Well, I feel like the Usos will probably travel a lot more than Roman to the Raw show. They really would, but it just seems like, all right. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe this is a way to kind of solidify them to have Roman be like this big heel that they've been trying to make him. Everybody's been putting their wands up in the air, but tonight a lot of people were in distraught. There weren't. I didn't see that many wands in the air like that. I really did. In the beginning, y'all was cheering, and when Roman, normally comes out and say, acknowledge me, whatever city he's in, and everybody put their wands up in the air. And now it's like a lot of y'all just like, Roman, you didn't mess with Randy Orton, the Viper, the Legend Killer. You've messed with the three most dangerous words in WWE, RKO. You might have awakened Randy in some kind of way. Maybe we could get Randy and Roman for maybe Hell in a Cell or going into Money in the Bank or SummerSlam. Who really knows? Although I don't know, although he's not advertised for Hell in a Cell, so he probably won't be doing anything for Hell in a Cell, but he may do something for Money in the Bank, or I think he's back on for SummerSlam. But I mean, who really knows? You really don't know, but it is what it is. Joseph said they gave us Roman first two title defenses of the WWE Championship, Riddle at Money in the Bank and Randy at SummerSlam. I wouldn't mind that at all whatsoever. I think Riddle and Roman will put on a pretty decent match. And I mean, of course, Randy. We already know what type of mold Randy's going to be on. Joseph also said another chapter of Vince's obsession with Roman getting out of control. Vince has love for the 627 days. Yeah, he does. Shout out to TK, our CEO of Women's Wrestling Talk, here joining the chat. Last week there was an ambush that took place unannounced. That was a invasion on the show.
It was fun.
It was. I think around this time was when the invasion happened.
Yeah, it was. But it was fun, it was absolutely hilarious and fun. I almost wish it was the other way around tonight, where y'all would ambush us now.
But I mean, TK, listen, TK is a baby face, so TK is not going to ambush anybody. TK is just probably like, no, I'm not here for none of that. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna stay in the back and everything, stuff like that. Joseph said, yeah, I think as far as pay-per-view goes, Roman is doing SummerSlam, Money in the Bank, and Clash at the Castle. I think maybe a Clash at the Castle, he may be facing Drew McIntyre because Drew is advertised on that card. Like, where the hell was Drew at? Drew was nowhere.
No, they announced it. They said on Twitter that he's been on tour, sort of promoting the Clash at the Castle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, they said that they had a moment on SmackDown where they showed him tweeting about it.
Shout out to Drew out there, being a little bit of a face, some of that nature. Just say he's surprised Nikki isn't ambushing as we are getting ready to talk about the shit hit the fan. Yeah. He said that was our GCW ambush, and I'm here, Joe, so I have no words, to be honest. Don't worry. We
got the words.
We definitely do. But yeah, guys, that was like the main event closing out of SmackDown. But now we pretty much run down everything from Rampage and SmackDown. But we do have to talk about this situation here. So tonight, of course, if you don't know, on Monday Night Raw, Sasha and Naomi. It's been the talk of the town since Monday Night Raw, to the point where I don't think people even paid attention in any of the shows that was going on. They haven't said the only thing has just been about Sasha Naomi this, Sasha Naomi that. A lot of reports, a lot of dirt sheets, a lot of people just talking, having the conversations and just saying a lot of things. For tonight's on SmackDown, they did discuss what WWE's statement said on their website and what everybody else has basically been posting in regards to the situation with Sasha and Naomi. Basically, they were not too happy with the whole creative issue. They left their titles on the desk and they walked out. And from my understanding is what Michael Cole said was that what Sasha and Naomi did was a disappointment, basically saying that they disappointed the WWE universe, They disappointed the superstars backstage. And now Sasha and Naomi are suspended indefinitely. And they're going to have a tag team tournament to figure out who the new tag team champions will be. But not only that, Sasha and Naomi's merchandise doesn't exist anymore on WWEshop.com. It doesn't. Like, not at all. If you try to search anything Sasha and Naomi, it's not going to come up. And so, I mean, a lot of people took to Twitter to share their opinions and their thoughts all week about it. I feel like as of right now, it's really just getting out of hand. It is. It's the fact of that. I know you guys are asking in regards to like what teams. We really don't know. When they said that they're going to have a tag team like tournament or whatever, I'm like, what tag teams do you have? You barely have any. Unless you're just going to start back putting singles competitors back together just to make a tag team, then hey, who knows? I know Joseph said that they're probably throwing some teams from NXT and NXT UK. They probably will. They do have some tag teams in both of those divisions. But I have to say, like, in regards to Sasha and Naomi, the more I hear about this story, the more it's just like, you really don't know if this is a work or if it's real. A lot of people who say they got the connections over in WWE are saying that it's real, it's not a fix, it's not a work. A lot of people are saying that they feel like it is. So it's 50-50 on if it's real or whatnot. At this point, I could care less if it's real or not. Because at the end of the day, why are they getting so much heat for standing up for what they believed in if this is a situation that actually happened? Let's just say the situation is actually real. Why are they getting so much heat for standing up for what they believe in? Why are people referring to them as being crybabies? Why are people degrading Naomi, talking about the way that she looks, saying she looks like a monkey, saying all types of negative things about her when she's been through different things? Naomi has taken a lot of heat for a lot of things that people who are a part of her life have done, whether it's in regards to her husband or other people she has worked with. Even if she's in shitty storylines, she's been a part of a lot of things. And it is really messed up. In regards to Sasha, it just seems as if like with both of them, they want better for the women's division. Why can't they have that? If somebody else goes back there and say that, oh, I'm not happy with something, and they express how they feel about it, you should want to take that into consideration. Why would you put two tag teams in a six-pack match for the Raw Women's Champion opportunity to face Bianca and Hell in a Cell? Why would you want either Sasha or Naomi to pin each other in this match just to break them up? Why? You know what I'm saying? Only thing I can pretty much say, because it kind of irks me to the point where it's like, these are two Black women, very successful together and separately. They both have built their names. They both been in the company for a while now. Naomi's been here for 10 plus years. She's been here for a very, very long time. Sasha Banks has been here for a long time. Both of these women have like, you know, build their careers inside and outside of the ring. To say that they're disappointing the universe when a lot of people that from I've seen who are fans of these two women have been very supportive. They've been in their corner. They're standing with them. They're supporting them. To those who feel indifferent, nobody gives a fuck about y'all. Nobody does. Nobody cares about your opinions. Nobody cares about your feelings. Nobody cares about how you feel, because you can care less if they're not here anymore. Sasha and Naomi, they're very much role models to a lot of people who can see themselves in them. You don't really get that much when you're watching your Black wrestlers, whether they're male or female. You don't get to look at your Black wrestlers or see someone in an industry that you like, that you've been watching, that looks like you, that you can relate to, or anything of that nature. You don't really get that. And it's messed up when people like us speak up for what we believe in, and we get treated like this, when there are other people, white wrestlers, who have spoken up about things, have addressed issues, nothing happens to them. Yes, okay, I know you're gonna sit here and y'all gonna bring up the whole Stone Cold thing. Okay, yeah, whatever. That this is a different time now. There's been a lot of times where there's probably been multiple superstars who are probably taking so much shit from people from this company and have like allowed it to just be like, you know what, it is what it is. But when you're Sasha Naomi and you build your name, you build your career, you know the value that these two women have on mainstream. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. And you're making them look like the bad people. Just the whole statement that they put out, everybody who's giving their opinions are making it seem like it's a lot of slander towards them because they're standing up for what they believe in. And some of them saying that they're unprofessional. Literally, what Sasha Naomi did is what a lot of people and a lot of you have probably done in your 9-to-5 jobs. If you don't believe in something, or if you go to your manager about something that you don't like, and they take it like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna do something about it, and they don't do nothing, and the same things keep happening over and over and again, and you want to see better for your division, you want to see better for where you are, and your manager still doesn't do anything. They just say, I hear you, I hear you, I hear you, and nothing is happening. Do you stay or do you go? Do you stay and continue to deal with the bullshit, or do you go and find something better because you know who the fuck you are? And I think that a lot of times people don't know who they are is the reason why they stick around and they just take it and take it and take it. But those who know who they are, know what type of value they have, know what they bring, Sasha and Naomi be fine. If they choose to never come back to WWE, I promise you, those girls will be fine. They really will. Sasha can go off and do her acting thing and be perfectly fine. Naomi can go do something else and be perfectly fine. It's not like they need WWE. WWE needs them. Because if you constantly keep losing a lot of these people who you know bring value to your company, you're not going to have much. You're not going to have anything to look for. So all I can say is, you know, if this whole situation is really, really real, then I say kudos to Sasha and Naomi for standing up in what they believe in. Standing up for people who, standing up for themselves, and standing up and being a voice for people who probably have wanted to say something, but didn't have the courage to. So that's my Reddit. But I don't think they disappointed anybody. Not at all. Nobody at all.
Yeah, saying we were talking off camera about it, and I got real emotional because these girls mean a lot to me, not only as a fan, first of all, because that's how I got started in this wrestling game. As a fan, I'll tell anybody that. And it's like Naomi was one of those girls who I always wondered, what if she could fight?
Right.
Because she started off, you know, dancing as a funkadactyl. And I was just like wondering, what if her and Cameron could fight? And I remember the first time I saw Sasha, I didn't exactly know what she had to offer. But then as she evolved and I saw more of what she had to offer, I fell in love with her. And I have been following both of them, you know, ever since, and rooting for them all the way. And earlier this week, me and Katrina talked about it with Black Wrestling Alliance, and it's just with everything that has happened this week in terms of, you know, in this country, in terms of Black Americans being attacked for just being who they are, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. Let's not pretend. But it's just with that, and then with this, and with these women standing up for what they believed in and wanting more for these titles that they have been carrying on their back since WrestleMania and wanting more for them and speaking up for it and then being slapped down for it, it just goes to show that no matter where you are, no matter how much progress you think you make in this world and in this landscape, Black women are always the most disrespected women.
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm X said this, and his heavenly birthday was just yesterday. He said this, like, the most disrespected woman in America is the Black woman. And it's just true. And it's so sad because we have been giving WWE all this credit for the past 2 years for how they had evolved in their, diversity and everything. And, watching how they were pushing Bianca and all this other stuff. But then the moment they do something and they win something, but then they want more for it, and they are actually in place to want more
Mm-hmm.
for it, it's like you villainize them for it. And then you have commentary talk about them as if they're unprofessional, and then you have people saying that they should lose their attitude, which is code language, at Black women, saying you just need to stop being angry and stop
Right.
having an attitude and just be grateful for what you are given. The reason why we are standing up for ourselves now is because we know what our value is, regardless to the rest of the world trying to tell us what our value is. We know what we are. We pull our weight in gold in everything that we do. There is a reason why everybody tries to be us and bite off of us constantly. It's because they know that we are the blueprint. We are the standard. And it sucks because these women have given so much of their own lives to this company, and Naomi has built the foundation that Sasha even currently stands on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Naomi is a part of the reason why Bianca and why Sasha are able to stand and shine the way that they do, because she was there first. And it took her forever to get a title. And then even after she won the SmackDown Women's title twice, it took
Mm-hmm.
her forever to win another title. And
Yep.
they win these titles, they go out and do appearances for you.
Mm-hmm.
Um Sasha was on all these different shows online. She visited those children in New York, and it breaks my heart because I actually had that teacher, Victor Perry, on my show. It's like she shows up for those kids, and those kids see themselves in her and in Naomi. And the fact that they had those titles taken away from them like that, it just hurts me as a fan, and it breaks my heart because there's just so much uncertainty because we're not behind the scenes. We don't know what they're saying about these women who have done and given so much. It's like we don't know if they're just planning to just discard them and just throw them out as if they're not worth anything, as if they haven't given this company the best women's wrestling that we have ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
It is hurtful and it is painful. And it just feels like even when we stand up for ourselves, and even when us as Black women stand up for other people, we're always villainized. We're always the bad guy. And it feels like there's nothing that Black women can do to ever be seen as okay. Like, we're never good enough. That's literally what it feels like. It feels like they're always saying that we're still never good enough no matter what we do. And it's painful because these girls are stars. And it's painful that they don't see them and the value that they have. We love them and we see them for what they are. And regardless of commentary tonight, I know Michael Cole and Pat were just doing their job, but it's mostly Michael Cole.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Cole speaking for us and saying that they disappointed us and let us down. That's not true. They will
Yep.
never let us down. They will never disappoint us because they were being true to themselves and standing up for what they believed in. And if that means that they let y'all down, then say that they let y'all down. Don't speak for us
Mm-hmm.
and say that they let us down because we've been riding for them all week. So don't say that. Don't put words in our mouth and say that, oh, they disappointed the WWE universe because they were expecting them to perform. What happens
Mm-hmm.
when all the performing and stuff when you're just tired of just performing and you want to do meaningful stuff. The women's tag team titles hasn't been as meaningful until they won it. And it's so sad to say because I love Queen Zelina and I love,
Mhm.
Carmella for what they do give. But the truth is, none of that, none of that felt as important as Sasha and Naomi winning it. And
Mhm.
now, since they've taken it away, I mean, it's giving more opportunity for the other women, but it won't be as meaningful because you won't give them nowhere near as much attention and nowhere near much as press as you gave Sasha and Naomi. It's terrible, and they're losing. Even though they tried to have this bravado to make it seem like, oh, everything's fine. No, no, they're losing.
Yeah.
And if Sasha and Naomi do decide to leave, and if it is true that their contracts are up, because of course we don't know the truth of the matter, if that's true, and if they do decide to leave, then that's perfectly fine because you have to learn to, because it's like Nina Simone said, you got to learn to get up from the table when love is no longer being served. And if love ain't being served to them no more, and if love don't live here anymore for them, then I completely get it. I completely and 100% get it. It will break my heart, but because I am a lifelong WWE girl. But if they do decide to leave, then that is perfectly fine, and they are well within their rights to do so. And they can get love from elsewhere, whether it be
Mhm.
Hollywood or other wrestling promotions or whatever they decide to do. But even if they do decide to negotiate and stay, I know WWE owes them a hell of an apology. They owe them everything if they do choose to stay. But either way, we still ride for Naomi over here. I still ride for Naomi and Sasha over here. Santana does too. We at Women's Wrestling Talk, we ride for them. And that's all I have to say about it. It breaks my heart that this is happening and that they're being petty enough to even take their merch down, which is absolutely
Mhm.
ridiculous because they are still a part of the company. You haven't released them,
No.
so it's just like we know that they're still there. They're just not working, but they are still a part of the company. You haven't let them go. You haven't fired them. So why even
Mhm.
take down their merch? Because right now at that point you're not even serving the WWE universe who actually still loves them
Mhm.
because they might want to still buy merch for them because they still love them. So you're taking away from the people who actually look forward to buying their merchandise. But you know what? It's their loss. They've lost that money.
Mhm.
They've lost that money and they've lost the opportunity to push themselves forward because they're holding themselves back because they refuse to evolve and refuse to be creative because they don't want to listen to what these two powerful black women said about these titles. They know they was wrong and they know it was
Mhm.
stupid for them to be in that six-pack challenge.
Yeah.
But it's okay. They gonna learn their lesson sooner or later. I'm just hoping
Yeah.
that for their sake that they don't learn when it's too late. But even if they learn when it's too late, that's gonna be their problem and not Naomi and Sasha's.
No, not at all. It's definitely not. What I will say is that at the end of the day, we were able to see in 2022 two black women become SmackDown Women's. Well, excuse me, not SmackDown Women's Champion. We got to see them become tag team champions. Let's be honest. Something that we probably don't even know we ever want to see. You can't take away the credibility that Sasha Banks and Naomi has brought to this company.
And it
You
seems
can't.
like they're trying. And
They
they
can
can
try
and they
all
can fucking
day.
stop it.
They can try all day, but they can't. I don't care if they take their merch. I don't care if they take their titles. I don't care if they want to try to take their accolades. You can't. You cannot take away what the people know. You can't. They've already built themselves. They've already built themselves to who they are today. You know what I'm saying? They've branched out a little bit. Sasha, like I said, Sasha does her acting thing. Naomi can do whatever the hell she wants. You know, you can't take that away from them. It doesn't matter what you do. You cannot. It sucks at the fact that every time something seems to be going good, it's always some BS afterwards. Always. Whether it's with Sasha, whether it's with Naomi, majority of the time it's with Naomi. You know what I'm saying? Naomi's been dealing with a lot of things. She really has. Who knows what mental state these two women are in right now? Sasha
Right.
Banks always talks about, like her mental health. and wanting to be released at that. She's asked for her release before, and Vince won't let her go because he knows the value in Sasha Banks.
Mm-hmm.
He knows the value in her. It's just and honestly, like I said, if their contracts are getting close to being expired by SummerSlam, who knows? Even though it stated that Naomi was in negotiation with her, with WWE to renegotiate her contract, but it's like, damn, look at look at what you've done with Naomi. You know what I'm saying? She's been in shitty storylines. She hasn't really had like the greatest championship run ever. You know what I'm saying? It was great for her to be the first black woman. Well, not when I said the first black woman, but yeah, the first black woman to hold the SmackDown Women's Champion. Those are the titles she ever held outside of the tag team champions. She's never had an opportunity to go after the Raw Women's Champion. And it's not as if like Naomi isn't a great singles competitor. She is. She's a great person that you can put in the ring and know for a fact that you're going to get an amazing match. Sasha Banks has won multiple titles, but they never last that long.
Right.
Never. They never do. But you put Sasha Banks in a ring with anybody, she's going to make them look good.
Right. The longest reign Sasha had was with that SmackDown Women's title that she lost to Bianca.
That was it. That was the longest time she held that title or held a title. It really is. And so I don't know. I don't. Sam said, I would say this: the women's tag team titles are nothing without Sasha. Tamara said their title will forever stand out. I literally cried when I saw those women holding those belts. Nikki said he does in regards to Vince. I just don't believe he feels the same as he did years ago regarding Sasha. Tamara said that he needs to know the value in Naomi too. He does. I feel like Naomi has been very devalued, and anytime she's left within those like 2 times she may have disappeared, she came back, and the fans are always happy to see her. Always gunning to see Naomi and what she's gonna do. What is this she's gonna do this week, and that you can put her in the match with anybody, like I said, and really go like, and really have the crowd behind her. It never fails.
It never fails.
Joseph said her only SmackDown Women's Championship was the longest reign she had. Those 5 Raw Women's Champions were 4 flipping with Sasha, and she held for a month. Yeah, so they don't really get that many. They get that many title reigns, but it also don't be held that long. Sammy said he just want to know why they were told no to a match with Doudrop and Nikki. That I'm very unsure. They've both been in a match with both of them before, so I can't really say as if to why they were denied the match or whatever, or why they didn't want to have them start a program with them. Maybe this 6-pack challenge in their mind was a way to kind of start a program with them, but I thought maybe the match they had prior to that was a way to start the program with them. You know what I'm saying? I agree. Naomi probably has been holding her tongue for a long time. It seems as if like with Naomi, she's really nice. She's really sweet. And it just seems as if like with all the things that she's kind of dealt with and been through, she hasn't said much. You know what I'm saying? She probably just was at the time just like, you know what? I'm just going to, kind of, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she's not a confrontational person and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes she takes the fault. A lot of times she takes the fault for other people's wrongdoings. She does. Either she gets taken off TV, she gets in matches that she loses, and so on and so forth. Joseph said, suppose the plan was Bianca versus Naomi and Ronda versus Sasha too. They were being used to keep the individual champs busy in Hell in a Cell, which honestly, I don't mind that. I don't, but I mean, you have champions right now. You could have used anybody else. Don't get me wrong. It would have been nice to see Bianca and Naomi be in the ring together and face off. I would have loved to see that. I think Naomi and Bianca would have put on an amazing match together. They really would have. They're both athletic and can pull out some amazing stunts together. And it's just, this is considered to be one of my dream matches, to see Naomi and Bianca in a match together. But but having them to keep both of the champions busy at Hell in a Cell when both of them are going to lose is pointless. When they could be defending their titles, they have those titles for a reason. Have them defend them. If they're coming to you to defend their titles, let them.
Right.
What's the issue?
Like, I don't understand what's so hard about that. I really don't.
No, like you
But
should want that.
but what I will say is this though, like, I know stuff like this can kind of make you wonder, professionally in wrestling, is there really truly like a place for you as a Black woman? Because that thought has ran through my head in the past 2 hours. But I would just like to say to every Black woman that is a fan, or to any Black woman or woman of color who is a professional in this business, whether you're a wrestler, commentator, writer, referee, or whatever, know your worth, add text, and don't apologize for it. And that's it. And that's really all I have to say about that. Do not apologize for knowing your worth. Just know your worth, add text to it, and do not apologize. And whoever is meant to appreciate it will come up and pay it.
I agree. I definitely agree. And on that note, guys, we're gonna bring this to a closing. I feel like everybody got a chance to pretty much get off what they were gonna get off and say what needs to be said. Although the story does not end, we also know that maybe there could be something else happening. There could be some other stuff transpiring. There could be some other things said. Honestly, who really knows? We really don't know. But we want to thank you guys so much for joining us today for the SmackDown and Rampage post show, after show, with myself and Stephanie. Just gonna go through and give you guys a shout out, those who've been with us since the beginning. Almost 2 hours in, but we had a lot of things to get into. Want to give a thanks to Tamara, Sam, Joseph, Jamari, Nikki, my tag partner, one half of the most dominating tag team women's wrestling talk history, the Salt Shakers. Let's see. We had a raid happening with the Queen Invasion, the Queen of the Ring, Alex. Her people came over to show us some love. Let's see. We also had Bobby in here for a little bit. JD popped in. Let's see who else. Byron Von Rashi came in for a little bit to tell us to not degrade Trick, but we're going to do that anyway. We're going to objectify him in all ways. And we even had Goth Vegan in here too. So just want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with us on this Friday, or Saturday for those who are in the East Coast. Thank you guys. Just thank you guys so much for staying here with us and actually having this conversation that I feel like it's definitely needed within the community of Black women at that. So who knows what the future is going to hold for these two ladies? It doesn't really matter, because like they can go anywhere and people are going to support them, like hands down. But still, this month is Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month. The writers team have been writing some amazing articles. They have been dropping every single day up until you guys meet the final boss on May 31st. And if you don't know who the final boss is, you're definitely going to find out exactly who the final boss is come May 31st. Next month, we are going to be highlighting and celebrating LGBTQIA plus and Pride Month next month. This is pretty much started off. It's kind of like a joke with Nikki asking me what TK is going to have us do for next month. And she gave the answer, and this is all on her. So shout out to Nikki for giving the writers team a project this month. It wasn't me. So we kind of getting started on that now. I know the writers said they've pretty much already started picking out who they want to highlight and stuff like that. So I'm very excited to highlight people, the wrestlers in the community on Women's Wrestling Talk. It's a must because nobody else is doing it. So why not do it here? Make sure you guys check out the website www.talkpod.com to check out all the articles and other post shows. Make sure you subscribe and like to our Twitch. as well, because like we're growing here. We're going to be here exclusively for a lot of shows, pay-per-views, post shows, a lot of shows, sometimes a little bit of interviews too. We did an interview yesterday with Jenny Santana, Tino Santana's daughter. Me and TK did on the news, so it was awesome to have a conversation with her, another person whose last name is Santana like mine. So it was awesome, you know. So yeah, kind of give you guys a little bit of show rundown in regards to finishing out this week. Come Saturday, tomorrow to be exact, where will be a indie show, an all indies show happening at 11 a.m. Central Time, I believe so, with Mika, Emily, and Katrina. They're going to break down all things indies. So if you're a fan of the indies, definitely check out that show here live on Twitch. On Sunday is Turnbuckle Glam with, of course, the Salt Shakers and the Dynamite Dolls. Me, Nikki, Mika, and Al will be covering the looks on Sunday for Turnbuckle Glam. And then we start a new week. Come Monday, I will be on the news with Nikki now. Once again, Nikki swizzled her way into bringing me a part of things. And now this is the news on Monday is going to be my 6th show. So here we are. So the news is 6 o'clock on Monday. And then following later on that night will be the Raw post show with, of course, me and Nikki as well. On Tuesday, don't really have a show, but make sure you guys go back and check out all of the shows that you've seen on our YouTube channel, WWE Talk or Women's Wrestling Talk on YouTube, and then on here on Twitch. If you have missed some post shows, some actual shows, we brought a new show called A Creek Squad with Faye and Lovely. Definitely check that show out because it got real interesting the other night. So definitely check out that. On Wednesday, of course, Dynamite, AEW Dynamite with the Dynamite Dolls, Mika and Al. They're going to break down AEW going into what will be Double or Nothing week. And then on Thursday, of course, however TK does it, I don't know. We kind of been doing the news after NXT 2.0 and NXT UK after show. So I'm just going to say this. So, of course, the news has happened that day with me and TK, of course. And then afterwards, we will have the NXT 2.0 and NXT UK post show with Stephanie and Katrina. So make sure you check out that. They will be breaking down NXT 2.0 and NXT UK. If you are a fan of both of those shows, they're definitely going to give you the breakdown, the rundown. And I'm going to always be in the comments yelling Team Carmelo. And then I will. And then
every time.
Every time I talk about them, y'all know I'm coming. And then also on Thursday, of course, it's Impact Day with me and Nikki, the Salt Shakers, breaking down all things Impact. We're gearing up for Slammiversary. So yeah, it's a lot of things going to be transpiring on Thursday. Thursday is a heavy show, so make sure you guys be here to tune in. And then of course, we're running back in on Friday. Me and Stephanie are here for Rampage and SmackDown. So that's pretty much all the shows we have right now. Of course, we will have a Double or Nothing pay-per-view post show on that Sunday for a Double or Nothing May 29th with me and Nikki. I don't know if anybody else is joining, but I do know as of right now it is me and Nikki on that show. So yeah, come and check out our thoughts, what we thought about the show and everything of that nature. Before we get out of here, Stephanie, let everyone know where they can follow you and keep up with you at.
Well, per usual, know that you can follow me, your girl Stephanie Hardy, on Instagram and Twitter at Queen Steph Hardy. And you can follow my show, The Hardy Wrestling Podcast, on Instagram at Hardy Wrestling Podcast and on Twitter at Hardy Wrestle Pod. It's a little bit unsure about whether or not I'm going to be releasing a new episode this weekend because my mind is and my emotions are all over the place. But I'm still working on the road to 100 episodes. So please continue to support me with that. And yeah, and just continue to support Women's Wrestling Talk everywhere you see us because we do a lot and we do a lot of great stuff. So please follow us and support all of our shows and all of our endeavors and whatnot, and just continue to support women in wrestling because Lord knows we need it at this point.
Sure, you have absolutely no idea. And in regards to me, like I always say, you can find me on Google Driune Santana. That's how you pronounce my name. For those who may have been wondering how to pronounce it, but not Driune, which a lot of people like to pronounce it that way. I see you guys like to switch the U and the I around. I don't know why, but it's not how you pronounce it.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, that's everybody like, is this Driune? It's like, what? Maybe if I spelled my name that way, maybe they'll say it correctly. But yeah, you got to spell my name right on Google in order to find me. You can literally just type in Driune and I pop up. Literally, you don't even have to put my whole name. I pop up. And so yeah, that's it. Make sure you, like I said, follow us on Twitch, because this is where most of our shows majority of our shows will be at until they are uploaded later on YouTube. Make sure you follow all of our socials, WWE Talk Pod. Keep up with us. We got a lot of things gearing up and ready to go for you guys. Once again, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight for our post show. Come back tomorrow with Mika, Emily, and Katrina for the indie show, where to discuss everything. And Turnbuckle Glam, if you're into fashion and you want to know our opinions, Turnbuckle Glam is here for you. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Get ready to go to bed because it's a new day and there's no sunshine.
Yes, it is.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.